crash course video.
Hello there.
Hello my dudes, and welcome to another crash course video. Well, this is actually the first crash course video by Meghan, Caroline, and Kendall. I'm not going to go into too much detail about what you're going to be learning about today, but it's going to be pretty focused on your brain area and your memory and why it's useful. So here's Kendall explaining that even more. Enjoy!
Hello there. We're going to be talking about memory today. Why study this? Well, kids, without memory, how could you be able to learn anything? Why learn about forgetting? If we can learn about how we forget information, we can apply this so that we can intentionally forget less.
Oh, hello. Herman Abingus is one of the first researchers to study forgetting. To study forgetting, he memorized a list, waited a certain amount of time, and then tried to recall the list, and after each time he would graph his results. Now, try to remember the three words: dog, blue, and truck. And I'll see if you can remember them later. One of his results became known as the curve of forgetting, which clearly explains that forgetting happens very quickly directly after you learn the information. However, meaningful material is forgotten much more slowly. Abingus also found that distributed practice or spacing out your study sessions will help you retrieve the information. For example, studying your psychology notes every 30 minutes is much more efficient than studying for 3 hours straight. Another reason people forget things is because of encoding failure. Encoding failure is the failure to process information into memory. For example, which of the following is the correct view of a stop sign? An old theory of forgetting is the memory trace decay theory. A memory trace is some physical change in the brain which occurs when a memory is formed. If these traces are not used, they decay or fade into nothing. An example is people creating a path in the grass after walking over it multiple times. But if people stop walking there, then the path will fade or decay. Have you ever switched from driving a car with the gear shift on the wheel to one with the gear shift on the floor of the car? If yes, you will remember having trouble at first getting into the new car. You may have grabbed at the wheel and realized the gear shift was on the floor. The reason for this is called proactive interference. Proactive interference is the tendency for older or previously learned material to interfere with the learning of new material. Another example is saying your old phone number when you just got a new phone number. However, retroactive interference is when newer information interferes with retrieving old information. For example, when you change back to your old car and reach down to the floor for the gear shift before remembering the old way of doing it.
To the actual neuroscience of memory. The hippocampus is an area in the brain where long-term memories are formed. Scientists had studied a man named H.M. He suffered severe seizures as a child, and in an attempt to cure this, doctors removed his hippocampus. The last thing he remembers is being rolled into the operating room, and since his surgery, he has struggled to form new memories. This story helps us to prove that the hippocampus plays a crucial role in forming memories. He could also no longer consolidate memories. Consolidation is the process of forming long-term memories from short-term memories, making them stable. Neurotransmitters play a crucial role in the formation, storage, and retrieval of memories as well.
Thank you, Kendall. Hello, friends. Today I'm going to be talking about amnesia. So, the most basic or well-known example I can think of when I think of amnesia is the movie Anastasia, where the red-headed princess girl falls off the train with her grandma, and then she hits her head and she can't remember anything before the accident. That's the most common example I can think of. Amnesia is basically forgetting parts or certain triggers in your life. So how does it occur? There are three primary types of temporary amnesia. They are retrograde amnesia, anterograde amnesia, and infantile amnesia. Another form of memory loss, which is more familiar to many people, is Alzheimer's disease. Alzheimer's is also more permanent. It is the most common type of memory loss found in adults and the elderly. In the beginning of being diagnosed with Alzheimer's, anterograde amnesia sets in. This is when the person will have trouble retaining new information and typically struggles with senile depression, which comes with the symptoms of severe forgetfulness, mental confusion, and mood swings. One can access information that is in front of them, but they cannot store that information and use it in the future when they are not being exposed to it. So they can basically only remember things that are directly in front of them. Infantile amnesia is not something to be concerned about, as it is the inability to retrieve memories from the second or third years of life. So if anybody ever tells you that they can remember being born, they're definitely lying. Sir,
Hello, how are you?
do you remember when you were born?
Of course I remember when I was born. Scariest day of my life.
He's lying! These memories are implicit, making them hard to remember and bring to consciousness. These memories are hard to retrieve because they are not explicit, which would make them more obvious memories to have. Retrograde amnesia is the last form of amnesia, and it commonly occurs when a person is in an accident and has been exposed to head trauma. Trauma to the hippocampus makes it difficult for the person to remember moments, hours, and days after the accident, and before. The memories that cannot be stored are the ones that relate directly to the event itself. Retrograde amnesia is probably what Anastasia had, as she couldn't remember events before her accident. Now, whenever I try to remember infantile amnesia, I think of animals because they can't really retain any information, or they don't remember anything from the day before. So I think that they have a severe version, like Prime here, of infantile amnesia. They can't remember anything that happened to them 20 seconds ago, let alone when they were first born. So I hope you enjoyed learning about amnesia. And I hope you didn't forget anything that I said, because that would be bad and kind of... Yep, that would just be bad. So, thanks. Hope you enjoyed this little rendezvous. And don't fall off of any trains, because it would really suck to forget your whole life. Okay, well, now on to the credits. I'd like to give credit for the facts about forgetting. That's for Caroline Dyer, and the neuroscience about memory, that's for Kendall Goetz, and the amnesia, that's me, that's Meghan Karanik. And I'd also like to applaud our writers, which is just, again, us, Caroline, Kendall, and I, Meghan. And the editor, I guess, is myself, and my bird here, Prime. And credit for all of our information, I gotta say, the psychology textbook, thank you, Miss Curley, for that. And music, Vampire Weekend, thank you very much. A-Punk, good tune. Alright, thanks. Hope you enjoyed our video. It's been a real good time. And one quick question, did you remember the 3 words that Caroline asked you to remember? Probably not.